What's up, guys? Welcome back. I am out on a walk right now. As you can see, I'm in a park. I took a walk and it's just one of the best ways to get a workout in. Walking literally costs nothing. Just about anybody can do it. It doesn't matter how far you go, it's just that you go. So I'm just sipping on some water. I'm kind of cold. I only wore a long sleeve shirt, so I kind of underestimated the temperatures today. So we're going for that hot cold therapy today. So I'm going to walk to my kids' school, say hi to my daughter at recess, and then I'll be headed home and we're gonna have a full day of eating. So eating keto. So anyways, I will see you in a bit. Okay, lunch today is going to be just a wrap. I took 2 slices of pepper jack cheese, 3 slices of Canadian bacon, and about 5 ounces of turkey and a tablespoon of mayonnaise. I wrapped it up, cut it in half, and then I realized that all my turkey wouldn't fit into it, so we had a couple extra rolls, and then also a keto Hawaiian roll as well. So that recipe I'll link down below. And then for dinner, I did an old favorite, meatloaf croutons. Just use up old meatloaf, dice it up in a pan fry it, and then put it on top of your salad fixins. And then that's what we did: romaine, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, onions, and homemade ranch dressing. All recipes will be down below, but that's such an easy dinner and a great way to use up leftovers. And then also I used one of those keto Hawaiian rolls, diced it up as croutons, just as a test, and it worked great, by the way. And there's my finished product. So that was dinner, keto croutons, and salad with ranch dressing. So recipe links below. All right, so it is another day. Today is, I think, Wednesday. So yesterday I forgot to film. So I'll go over what I had for dinner and lunch real quick. For lunch, I just used about 8 ounces of turkey breast. It's sliced turkey from Boar's Head. I diced that all up. I 4 ounces of peppers, threw that in there, and then threw about 1.5 ounces or 3 slices of Boar's Head American cheese. Whipped that all together over a pan, and then I put a tablespoon of mayonnaise. So that was lunch. My afternoon coffee was my regular unflavored collagen, heavy cream, and my black coffee. And then for dinner, I had a really good savory recipe that I made a while ago with my mom. I'll link that video right here, but it's a low carb, savory chicken pot pie, and instead of doing like a mashed cauliflower or something on the top, I used Keto Connect's biscuit recipe. So anyways, I'm gonna link that recipe down below. Oh, so good, and just perfect for these really cold days. So I'm in my garage gym. I'm freezing. It's another day. I think it's 26 degrees. So I'm wearing a sweatshirt, and I think at this point we're practicing hot and cold therapy because it's so cold here, but it's not an excuse to not get the workout in. But before I jump into my workout, and don't worry, I'm not gonna bore you with that, I wanted to get a few things off my chest. After reading the comments from my dumpster fire video, that one right there, after reading the comments there was a lot of comments that I needed to kind of like publicly respond to because there were so many, like it's kind of similar. First things being, a lot of people were feeling sorry for me. So for those of you that didn't watch that video, I hopped on the scale, I guess a week ago now, after doing all of my changes and, making 100% effort into my goals. Momentarily had a lapse of judgment, hopped on the scale, saw no change, and had a pity party for myself. Now, I didn't share that so that I would get sympathy or pity or you to feel bad for me, or I simply share it because when a lot of people may be starting out in a health journey, and if through the media, social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and like that, so much perfection is shared. And in my journey, I find that sharing the perfection or only the best parts doesn't show a true representation of the real journey. And the real journey is going to have ups and downs. So I don't like the fakeness that's on social media. It's not real. And it makes it seem too good to be true. So when you may have had a day like I had where you thought, you know, you're doing really good, you hop on the scale doesn't validate what you've been doing, and you feel bad. And that is an absolutely normal response. So I'm not looking for your pity or your, you know, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. It was like a couple hours of my day that I felt kind of crappy, but I got over it. Life's full of disappointment. It happens. It's part of the ups and the downs. But I do appreciate you guys feeling sad or sorry, but don't feel bad for me. I got myself into the pickle of gaining all this weight in the first place, and I'm the only one that can help myself. So, but I do appreciate the love and support, or those that can relate to that moment, because you know how easy it would have been to not have shared that at all on this channel and have this illusion of this perfect journey. But instead I share that because that's the real part of the journey. That's the real expectations, or, you know, of this whole journey in the first place. But because I shared that, I will say this is the next part. So many of the keyboard doctors in the comments have diagnosed me with all kinds of things I didn't know I had. So, point being, I don't need to see a therapist because I got on the scale and was upset at the number. That just drives me to push harder, to fight harder, to not give up, to know that that's not the end of this story, you know? So I hope you understand what I'm saying, but I mean, it was a lot of the comments were kind of extreme for something that should be a normal reaction. If you hopped on the scale after working your tail off for the past, you know, 3 weeks and you didn't see the scale agree with what you physically feel, you should be upset, you know, but it shouldn't like mean you gotta just throw your hands up and walk away. It means, well, something's not working right, or maybe I just need to give it more time and trust the process. That's the point. So, but a lot of the keyboard doctors, I mean, I've got all kinds of symptoms, I've got all kinds of diagnoses down there. And I mean, come on, that if I really needed to see a therapist over that, I've got bigger problems than that, you know, but it is a normal response, in my opinion. Now, with that said, one person did mention a really good point. Like I was trying to clarify that on a whim, in a spur of the moment, I went back to keto because, I don't know, I just did that. It was like, I just went to keto. It works. It made me feel good. After watching old videos, I'm like, you know what, let's keep going. So, but one commenter said, well, is it because that maybe your calories were too low? Overall macro levels had been too low. That was the reason I was overeating when I let the brakes off. And that is a really good point that I didn't think of. I was feeling so heavily restricted, but a little deeper than that could actually make more sense. I mean, I was battling the restriction yo-yo, but it wasn't because my calories and my macros were way too low. I am 5'8". The last DEXA scan, that is your body composition scan, showed I had 139 pounds of lean mass. And my body weight percentage at that time, I think it was 30%. So I have 30% body fat. So I am not like super overweight or obese. You're like, I'm a big girl, but I'm not, you know, but I'm pretty healthy, you know, like I'm not a small person. So to be living or trying to survive off of like 1,100, 1,200 calories, I can see why when I did actually eat, my body was like, oh my God, food, you know, send it in. So that could have actually been what's been causing my temporarily, I want to call it binge eating. I haven't actually been diagnosed with that, but there was a new thing that came up in my journey that I wasn't a binge eater when I was 309 pounds. I was an overeater. I didn't care about my health, but I never binged when I was 309 pounds. Over the past year, you know, 2021, I was starting to do that when I would let up off the brakes and take a break or something. I couldn't stop. So, but was it because my calories were so low that when I finally did eat, my body wanted me to eat, you know, and, you know, it could have been that. So, but like I said, it was an interesting thought that could be explaining what's going on here. I think if you had binge eating or something, maybe you would have had that for more than, you know, a couple months. Like that was just something that I was doing that was new and I didn't like. So I thought, well, if I stop restricting myself with carbs, maybe that'll calm that down. Well, it doesn't explain why for the past couple days, I guess it's almost been a week now that I've been back eating keto versus low carb, that now I don't feel restricted. But the one thing I have been doing though is I am making sure I'm eating enough. 1,600 calories is like my cut. And this particular week, I have been doing 2,000. So although I'm eating keto, I'm not feeling restricted. So it's interesting, and I love that comment. So thank you. I think her name was Lisa. Thank you for bringing that to light. You know, I didn't consider that, and I find it really interesting. So long story short, I'm okay. I'm just trying to figure this out. And journeys, when you lose a lot of weight, I have 130 to 140-ish pounds I want to lose. It's not going to happen overnight, and I'm not going to have all the answers because that's a significant amount of weight to lose. It's a significant portion of my life that I'm in weight loss mode, you know, and figuring it out because I don't want to do all this work and gain it back. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. You know, like I want this, I want to figure this out. So that's what's been the driving factor behind me. Like I want to get it right, and it's okay if I need to switch things up, you know, from low carb to keto, maybe macros, increase, decrease, you know, it's okay to do that, to find what works for you. And I am here to show you, or to show you what not to do through my own test. Like I'm willing to try anything. You know, I want to get to my goal weight. I want this chapter to be closed, you know, and I'm gonna stop at nothing. So it's okay to switch things up. I do feel sad a lot of you threw me to the curb because I wasn't keto, which that was kind of weird because keto and low carb are not, they're like sisters. They're not twin sisters, but they're pretty darn close sisters. So if you left because I was low carb versus keto for like 2 weeks, good riddance, you weren't a fan. But for those of you who have stuck with me through thick and thin while I figure this out and share you the truth, I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate your kindness. I appreciate you hearing me out, and then doing this with me, learning all of this together. So anyways, I'm gonna get a workout in back in my garage here, and I'll see you back at lunch. Bye-bye. This is lunch today. 3 eggs fried up in a little butter with 4 ounces of turkey breast, 2 ounces of Dubliner cheese, and 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. Okay, so I had some nuts, roasted nuts. So I roast my own pecans. I'll put that recipe link down below. And then of course my keto coffee with unflavored collagen and heavy cream. And then for dinner it was keto broccoli cheddar soup with a side turkey burger with sugar-free barbecue sauce. And then I had a no-bake cheesecake that I put, that I'll put the recipe link for down below, but it was super delicious. So hope you enjoyed this video. See you tomorrow.